Hi Libra, this is going to be your daily download. This is a timeless message, so whenever you are finding it, if it resonates for you, it was meant for you. But I am delivering this message on June 3rd, 2022. I am Eastern Standard Time here on planet Earth. This is a general reading, of course, so it's not going to resonate with everyone that watches. This is just what I picked up on today, and Spirit felt like I needed to deliver this message. Link to my website for private one-on-one sessions and other services is down in the description below. If you're new, welcome to Soma Chandra Libra. This channel is just for Libra and also Sagittarius. If you're looking for messages for all 12 zodiac signs, of course I read for the whole zodiac on my other channel called Soma Chandra Tarot. You might want to check out that channel as well. I will put up a June overview, but this looked to be a little bit deeper, a little bit more important. Also, Libra, I just posted something in the community tab that you guys might want to check out if you feel like you want to break away from a teacher, a mentor, or a boss, or someone that you have been working with or maybe were inspired by. If any of you are conflicted about a relationship like that in your life, check out the community tab. That written download might help you or interest you. All right, let's begin. So some of you are having a real wake-up call. You're about to discover your life purpose. This does look to be about life change and life purpose, but I sense and see a lot of fear in you guys. Oracle messages that came out. I don't know why they just want me to start here. Loneliness. I know that I'm never alone, but change came in reverse. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement, and fear is also at the bottom of the deck. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. What do you love? Do you want to feel that feeling? Humans do this thing, we're conditioned to do it, where we place a lot of importance on putting love in a vessel or a cup that shows up as romantic. But there's more types of love. There's more vessels and cups you can put love in. It can be expressed and actualized and realized in a lot of different ways. I think you're afraid to go for something because you're not sure you're going to love it or not. You might have a lot of fear surrounding the feeling of love at this time. Self-love, love of another person, love of what you do. It does seem to be kind of about life purpose. I do think you guys are feeling somewhat alone at this time, but struggling with change and struggling with movement. We say we're lonely, but then there comes a point in time when we kind of have to radically accept that not everyone, but some of us, a lot of us, do isolate ourselves because we think that that's better than the change that it would require. Change and fear. Lots of change and fear. Feeling maybe somewhat isolated, but there are positive life changes coming. Positive life changes are ahead if you choose to trust the process. Some of you are hesitating. You're having a hard time trusting yourself or trusting a process. Also, natural born leader came out. This is pretty specific. I know not all of you feel like you were meant to be leaders, but that's who this message seems to be for today. You were born to lead others. It is part of your life path, but you have to trust this process. Some of you need to accept that you were kind of born to be in a leadership role in some way. And Libras are cardinal signs, so they're natural leaders. Authentic self-expression is going to be really important. Be true to who you really are, and your life will change in the most amazing ways. This card is really saying something to me here, Libra. I kind of get the sense that some of you believe that you're supposed to be different than who you actually truly are. And I can see that as part of your advice through the tarot is to search your soul about getting in touch with your authentic self. What makes you you. You won't be able to successfully lead or move through into these positive life changes unless you're being yourself. You can only copy another person's genius for so long. You can only try to fit in and be like everyone else for so long. For some of you, you've been trying to do that and it's not working. It's important to be the real you at this time. And figuring out who that is also a process as well. And here's a fear card. So you have two cards of fear. Your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve. Oh, so there's this difference between victim blaming and personal accountability. And I can always tell when I'm working with a client for counseling or coaching, or when I'm reading tarot for them, when they're ready to be accountable for who they are. And it's really about facing the parts of yourself that are keeping you from moving forward without invalidating anytime you've been hurt, legitimately been in the role of the victim, legitimately been held back. You don't have to negate that or invalidate it. You just have to face your fear and face and accept personal accountability and responsibility for forward motion in your life. Some of you have been suppressed in some way and not been allowed to be your real self. And so now that feels really scary to you, I think. But this wake-up call is happening for a reason. And I think that you will actualize so much of yourself at this time, Libra, through life purpose. It's not that love and other parts of your life aren't important, but that 10th house is a thing. Your prestige in the world, your career, your position in life, in your life purpose. A lot will be actualized and fulfilled through your life purpose. Find your Chiron placement, find your part of fortune, find your midheaven, your north node, your south node. That can help you with all of this in your natal chart. Animal totems, earthworm, unicorn, and starfish. Some of you are very worried about appearances with starfish. Worried that what you are showing people on the surface is more important than the substance underneath. The substance underneath, you need to be reminded that it's very important. There's more to you than meets the eye. Honor your own sensitivity at this time. Also, watch out for clinging to youth, beauty, unrealistic expectations that are constantly put upon us in society. You may want to avoid social media and marketing for a little while. Also, watch out for gossip and hearsay when starfish comes out. Do not emulate others that exhibit behavior that's shallow as well. There's more to you than youth, beauty, and looks. You may have just been thinking about that right now. I don't necessarily hear that you are exhibiting that behavior. With earthworm and unicorn, okay, earthworm comes out a lot. It hasn't come out in a while, but that's where we're feeling really shy and we're feeling like a newbie. We're afraid that we might not have enough to contribute. One of my favorite statements in the entire compilation book for this deck by Kim Krans comes from this. I've read it so many times, I've memorized it, which is, don't be afraid to be a beginner or new. Besides, I hear tell that the beginner's mindset can be the most valuable. With a beginner's mindset comes a freshness that someone that's been doing something for a long time might not bring to the table. There is a spark to earthworm because they're new at something. I do see that you're feeling a bit withdrawn and shy, but you have more to contribute than you realize, Libra, especially if you are a beginner at something and you have a beginner's mindset, that there's a freshness to that and an eagerness to it. You just have to get over that fear. Unicorn is about really wanting to believe in magic and miracles and trusting in them, and also getting in touch with your higher self and your higher purpose in life. There's actually I was looking at it a minute ago and I wanted to read it to you guys. It is about reconnecting to a higher wisdom or a divinity. And wondering, I think you're very curious. Unicorn is asking you to be curious about how you're connected to the divine and get curious about your higher self. When this card comes out, it's about questioning, exploring, and contemplating. And when unicorn comes out, you want to go beyond the ordinary, mundane day-to-day. So I can see that some of you want to do something special and you want to feel special. Unicorn and starfish want to feel good and feel special. Right up until you're afraid. What's the matter? Are you afraid of rejection? I've failed and been rejected a lot in my life. I'm still here. Rejection and failure and insecurity are a part of life. And if you've not been allowed to express and be the real you in the past, that is definitely a fear that has to be overcome. The Chariot is in reverse. There's a lot of drive inside of you, but now is a time to calibrate the GPS of your own soul. Determine the direction that you want to go. You're either pushing too fast, too hard, or you're just not sure where you're going to go. A little afraid you're going to run off the road. Lots of anxiety here. Nine of Swords came out twice. So I was like, okay, you know, with tarot, we look at the surface level details. Overall, the feeling captured by the tarot is the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. I love it in the Lightseer's tarot. Both of these cards are kind of saying the same thing to me together. What am I doing? What do I do? Well, if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. I don't really know what I want. I feel kind of bored. I feel kind of stuck. Man, that's what I'm hearing off of her. Just like, shit. I don't really know. I don't really know. Watch out for making excuses. I think you're trying to make a choice, and I think that you want to make a practical choice. Nothing's really doing it for you entirely right now. So I clarified with the second deck, like I'm fond of doing, and I got the Knight of Cups, the Star, and the Queen of Wands. My goodness. Underneath this boredom and this, I need to make a practical choice. What do I do? How do I do it? Some of you really do fancy yourselves as leaders and mentors and inspiring, romanticizing something. The Knight of Cups is a card of artistry and creativity, where you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're very idealistic and very artistic, and you will pour into it. It is very youthful. It is very beautiful. Sometimes the Knight of Cups can have some unrealistic expectations. He is writing a romance novel after all. People like romance novels, by the way. I do. I haven't read one in a while, though. Chasing a dream and seeing yourself as this badass. Wanting attention, too. Or just seeing yourself as like this successful leader. Queen of Wands is an entrepreneur. She is a badass bitch. She does not care if she is in a relationship or single. She's like the life of the party. I love how her little dog is looking up at her and really trusts her, really likes her. This may be a person around you that inspires you. I mean, we see people that look like this all the time. All you have to do is log into social media, right? And you're kind of like, whatever. But you're inspired by it, wondering how to get there, wondering how to have a freedom and independence, come into alignment with your own soul, really pour your heart into something. Some of you can't quite figure out what that is. Yeah. But I can see that a part of you wants this. That's how you're seeing yourself right now. Your feelings at this time are the Ace of Swords in reverse, but the Three of Wands. Okay. Looking towards the horizon, waiting for that set to come in. She's ready. She's got her board. One heel up. She's waiting patiently. What dreams may come, as I say about the Three of Wands, but no real breakthrough. Rethinking something, waiting for the aha moment. Libra, as I always say, I know you love the sword, that we don't see a sword here, but the Ace of Swords is truly connected to something deep in your own mind. Air signs really need to have that intellectual snap where you're like, yep, that's it. That's the idea. That's the thing. That's the one. I'm waiting for this idea. I'm waiting for this communication. I'm examining something here about the future, but I haven't had that aha moment yet. Clarifying this is the Two of Pentacles. Again, the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Some of you with the Knight of Swords, you know it's carpe diem. You know you have to go for it. You know you have to seize an opportunity, but sometimes the Knight of Swords can feel a little out of its depth or out of its league. He usually doesn't care, though. This Knight has got somewhere to go. There's this impulsive, charging forward kind of energy, to explore something. Pages are so important and pivotal in the tarot. Second only to major arcana for me. This is where we really dip our toe in the water and we try something out. We practically apply it. We psychoanalyze it a little bit. We look at the details. We develop it. Should I really do this? Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? I don't really know. Is this right for me? Should I go for it? Am I crazy? The Knight of Swords is always like, kind of, but I mean, get on the horse. We're going. Should I, shouldn't I? Yeah. Having a hard time having like that intellectual aha moment or breakthrough with a person or a situation. I feel like this is really about like changes you want to make in your life. And again, discovering your purpose. Your action at this time, though, is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. They did ask me to add reversals to the main deck, but to the clarification deck, Spirit said keep it in the upright. So I said, okay. So I can see that you really do want to idealize something about yourself or life or a situation, wanting inspiration, wanting to inspire yourself. But with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse, so for some of you, like a honeymoon phase for a career is really over. Or you're just not able to consistently pour your heart into something. The Eight of Pentacles is when we, first of all, for some of you, you would like to not have to put so much effort into something. Passive income might be something you want to explore. Some of you have been in a role, like an apprenticeship role, nose to the grindstone for quite some time. You may feel as though you can't pour your heart into it anymore. There's no more here to do. There's no more here to learn. For me, this card combination means you get to your job and your desk every day and you're like, what am I even doing here? What is the point? You might be engaging in behavior or activity, or it could be with your job or anything that you're doing. It's like it's a misdirected activity. You might be doing something to avoid doing something else. Just not able to concentrate at work. Also, the Knight of Cups in reverse, I think, comes with this really important kind of wake-up call for all humans where we realize that we might have over-romanticized something, over-idealized something. Sometimes, worst case scenario, the Knight of Cups in reverse clings to youth and is tantrumy. Something just isn't really what he or she thinks it is. Yeah. It's like all the love of something might be coming, going out of it. But I also think that you don't want to face that to a degree. It's really important to face it when you feel this way. This could also just be a lull. Like, it just doesn't feel romantic and charming all the time. Like, you can't consistently pour into life in an idealized way all the time. These nights all flip into the reverse at some point because they plateau. That horse can't go forever. But when I clarified it, Seven of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. Well, some of you, like with a current job or relationship or whatever, any situation you're in, you're like, I don't know, I've put a lot of work into this. Maybe this tree will bear fruit. She does look awfully distracted by the past. Four of Swords, it's stressful. Kind of can't do a lot at this point, or you don't really want to. Seven of Swords, watch out for cheating yourself or kidding yourself. You may also feel like you need to get out of a situation that's not working for you anymore and act upon your own behalf. You don't want to explain yourself to anybody either. You don't want to have to tell anybody else what you're doing. You may or may not have to. Each of you will have a different scenario if this resonates for you. And you're trying to figure out how to do that. How do I slip away carefully? And I can take the work that I did, but nothing else. Some of you do feel a little bit of a guilt here or an insecurity. I'll be honest, I'll be very blunt. I'm a Queen of Swords. Some of you just don't want to face something or deal with it. You may, some of you are accepting that like something just isn't going to be what you want it to be all the time. It's hard for you to face. It's hard for you to do. I think you're not ready to make a major choice yet either. Some of you may, I mean, these sevens here are about karma and cause and effect. Well, if I do this, what will it cause and what will the effect be? With the Four of Swords, that's a little bit much for you to think about. Also, some of you might have been working from home or you've been sick and you've been overcoming an illness or something. It's difficult to deal with that. I was like, well, Spirit, what is your advice aside from these things? You know, being true to who you really are, believing that you're capable of being a leader, trusting the process that, you know, making life changes is a process, and overcoming fear and change and accepting, you know, direction in your life. You know, what's their advice through your guide's advice through the tarot? It was interesting. Six of Wands and the Nine of Swords. You're either afraid of succeeding or you're afraid of failing. I myself have been afraid of both of these things in life. And you know what's really mind-blowing is when you're afraid of both success and failure at the same time. Yeah, that does kind of make you say, I gotta go. I don't even want to fucking think about this right now. Yeah, I think some of you are afraid to succeed and you are afraid of failure. You're afraid of putting yourself out there. I clarified it and I got all major arcana. I'm like, well, this is kind of a big deal. Very big deal to you. Very worried about it. Clarifying it is the Hangman, the Hermit, and the Fool. Radically accepting who you really are. The Hermit is, who am I? Who am I really? All the answers are inside of me. Self-analysis, self-reflection, radical acceptance. I must pause. I must surrender. I must see myself and a situation for what it really is. I may need to make a sacrifice, and I've got to be the real me. Is this crazy? Am I being a lunatic? The Fool can be a little foolish and reckless. Some of you may be seeing in the past where you've been foolish and reckless and you're like, oh my God, I definitely don't want to do that again. I definitely see the position it put me in the past. Some of you are in a situation that you may or may not have put yourself in. All you know is that you're there and you're like, how did I get in this situation? You may feel as though you're losing quite a bit. I see the Fool as very connected to this authentic self-expression card, being true to who you really are, knowing that your life can shift in a lot of amazing ways if you get back in touch with what makes you you, and allowing yourself to be new, be free. I think some of you are afraid to succeed more than anything, but some of you may be afraid of failure and being foolish and reckless. I constantly say to clients, once you get to a certain age, he's not aging backwards, this person's a grown-up. Once you get to a certain age in life, the Fool can feel a little uncomfortable. Like it feels really comfortable when you're 25, but what about when you're 55, 45, 55? Some of you are thinking about having a baby, you know, or getting into a serious relationship. For some of you, this may involve an Aries, a Virgo, or a Pisces. Aquarius here as well. So address your fear of failure and address your fear of success. Release your expectations to be perfect and be realistic emotionally, Libra. Because it doesn't have to be so stressful if you can acknowledge your fear and believe that, like what it says here, you can move forward into a life that you deserve. Your life will change in amazing ways if you are true to yourself. You have to really be true to yourself and believe that you're capable of inspiring yourself and inspiring other people. You can do this. You really can. You really can. You may need to find a different avenue though and make the practical choice. Yeah. All right, Libra, that's your download. That's what I picked up on today and what's happening for you. You are about to discover a purpose, okay? Believe that you can make a contribution here and don't cheat yourself. You can do this. I'm always listening to the universe for you, Libra. Take care. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.